Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Fatih from Group 5 and this is our product Alcotem, the hybrid of alcohol breathalyzer and thermometer. Before I go further on the topic, this is the subtopics that we will be explaining today. So let's get started. Why did we choose alcohol breathalyzer? So initially when we were discussing on what product we should come up with, we found out that drinking and driving is one of the main causes of car crashes worldwide. And in high-income countries like United States, United Kingdom, and China, about 20% of fatally injured drivers have excessive alcohol in their blood. While in low-income country or middle-income country, this figure can go up to 69%. According to statistics, in 2018, there were more than 10,000 fatalities due to alcohol-impaired driving crashes, which is actually a 3% decrease from the previous year. But for us, we think that 10,000 car crashes due to alcohol is very excessive. Secondly is non-contact infrared thermometer. I think we all know since the pandemic started, every household, every mall, every shop has a thermometer because it is required for us to scan our temperature before we enter. So since the pandemic started earlier on the year, thermometer sales has increased significantly. According to reportlink.com, non-contact infrared thermometer market has a growth rate of 55.85% compared to the previous year, which makes up to 17.82 million sales in 2020 only. So we think that it is a good idea to implement thermometer in our product because it is very convenient for everyone to have since we do not know when this pandemic will end. So why did we come up with this device? Alcohol breathalyzer are normally very bulky and the prices are very high. So not everyone thinks that they should have it, but for us, we think that everyone that drinks alcohol should have this with them. Secondly is infrared thermometer. I think this is the most common thermometer that we see day to day. It is very bulky and it only has one purpose. Even though the feature says that it can detect temperature of the surfaces, but the range of the temperature that can be detected is very small. For example, it cannot detect temperature above 45 or below 30. So it is not very convenient. Besides from being very low quality, it also uses battery. For us, we think that in the 21st century, using battery is a step back. That is why our device is chargeable. I think we have all been through, if we use a battery powered product after a long period of time, sometimes the alkaline water from the battery will come out and just damage the product for good. So next is the objective that will be explained by Abdurrahman. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. I'm Abdurrahman Amni from Group 5 and I will be talking about our project's objectives and the scope. So first, the objective, which we'll be talking about our project's aim. Number one is the awareness by distinguishing the alcoholic products. Number two is the detection by figuring out the drunk drivers and punishing them. Number three, preserving by maintaining people's lives and citizens. Number four is the salvation by letting people know which products are alcoholic and save our lives. Number five is the extermination by figuring out those unpredictable chemicals that are burned daily from factories and cars and so on. Number six, and the last point, is the persistence, is to keep on the hard work. The second point is our project scope, which will limit our target. So here are our targets, which are first of all the drunk drivers. Number two, the factory employees who are exposed to the burned chemicals daily. Number three, children, to maintain a healthy life for the young children. And number four, the unauthorized products by figuring out which products are alcoholic by making some tests. And that's all for my part. Thank you very much.
Okay, hello guys. My name is Muhammad Ismail. I'm from section 3 of programming, computer programming. So in this video, I'm going to explain on my part, which is on flowchart. Flowchart is about a problem statement that we have find and then how we solve the problem statement, and then what is actually our idea in this project. The slide. Okay, so the first one is our problem statement, which is driving after taking alcohol can result in serious accident because nowadays there are a lot of drunk drivers. Because of that, we choose this problem as our project idea, and we came up with an idea to do alcohol detector. So in this alcohol detector, the input will be the alcohol sensor, which is MQ3, and MQ3 we already find in the Tinkercad online simulator. And then since now is COVID-19 season, so we innovate by adding infrared thermometer to get the temperatures of the drivers. Okay, so this infrared thermometer, the input will be LM35, which is the thermometer sensor. So as a total, there will be two input, which is which are MQ3 and LM35. So there will be two outputs, which are the percentage on the alcohol detector and the percentage on the thermometer. Okay, so basically this project will be built on Arduino Uno, as the question state, with two sensor, breadboard, potentiometer, LCD display, wires, LED, and Arduino cable. So this project will be conducted in Tinkercad Online Simulator. So all the components must connect on Arduino Uno to get the result. So by doing this idea and this problem statement, we already achieved the problem statement, which is can detect a person that consumes alcohol by his or her breath. Okay, so before that, I will show the picture for our input. So this is LM35, the input for our infrared thermometer, and then this is MQ3, MQ3, which is the input for our alcohol detector. So basically, for example, a policeman examine drivers. Firstly, will pump in the temperature, infrared temperature, and then if the temperature is higher than 37 or 38, so means that he or she can have a swab test to check whether he infected with COVID-19 or not, and then that, for example, for the thermometer, and then the input, and then the alcohol detector will be the test for examining the drivers whether he or she consuming alcohol or not. So basically, this project will be conducted in Tinkercad Online Simulator, and all the inputs that we already proposed in this project, we already checked it in Tinkercad Online Simulator, and in Tinkercad Online Simulator, there is the LM35 and there is also MQ3. So that's all for flowchart in my part. So thank you so much and welcome to the next presenter.
Hello, I am Hamza Said Abdul Rafiq, and I'm going to present two parts. The first one is the task delegation, and the second one is Gantt chart and milestone. I am going to present my friend's part because Abdullah has internet problem. For the task delegation, we have divided the tasks on our group members. The first task is background search of products, and the person in charge is going to be Fatin. For the system design task, Azka will be in charge. For the prototype design, I am going to be in charge and I'll take this task. For coding task, Abdurrahman will handle this task. And Abdullah Saleh will do the product description. Finally, for the video recording and editing, Muhammad Ismail will take care of this task. For the next part, which is the Gantt chart and milestone, we started this project on September 18th, and we had to search for a good idea for our project. This was the first task, and we have spent one day doing it. After we specified the idea, we have moved to work on the design, and we are very close to finish it. The progress is about 80%. When we are done with the design, we are going to implement our design, and we have to operate them. Of course, we must test our project and check if the idea succeed or not. If not, then we will go back and correct every mistake until the project is done, and we will share the results finally. Finally, there is going to be a conclusion, of course, and it will be written after we are done. It's going to be our project. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I will be explaining about the budgeting. So without further ado, let's proceed it. So our budget allocation is divided into 3 different clusters. Our majority budget goes to material, followed by manpower and prototype evaluation. This is the name of material that we are needed to build our alcohol detector. Firstly, we are using Arduino R3 board that is cost around 25 ringgit Malaysia. We are using 16x2 LCD display, which is spent around 11.5 ringgit Malaysia. And then we are using for the gas sensor, we are using MQ2 that is cost around 6 ringgit Malaysia, and we are using ADXL335 accelerometer sensor that is cost around 18 ringgit Malaysia. For the temperature sensor, we are using LM35 that is cost around 4 ringgit Malaysia, and the SM SIM 800L. The device is to accept the signal of a certain frequencies. This component is cost around 40 ringgit Malaysia, and this is the chart of our expenses. So the total expenses for the material is 148.5 ringgit Malaysia. For the manpower is estimated around 10 ringgit Malaysia, and for the prototype evaluation costs around 10 ringgit Malaysia for each evaluation. And now I'm gonna show you how to calculate our final cost. So we are taking a profit margin around 30% of our total expenses. So our estimated final cost regarding the manpower, total material, and the prototype evaluation, we finalized the price. So the price is around 290.05 ringgit Malaysia. I think it's quite a decent price. I think that's it from me. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next occasion.